All right, guys. So this is 5.1 practice. So what I'm going to do is go through a couple examples. I'll kind of do like one from each section, just like we normally would for class. And then you guys can finish the rest of them up on your own. So the first section, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're all asking for the interior angle sum. And what I did was I put the formula there up there in red for you already. So I would write that on your paper as well. So the formula is 180 times n minus 2, n meaning how many sides there are, the number of sides in the polygon. So the first thing we have to do is, if we have a picture like number 1 and 2, is we have to count how many sides there are, right? So one little trick is, as you're counting them, is you can either label the sides like 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can at least just kind of put like a dash through the side as you're counting it. So if I'm counting number 1, I might go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, or you could even just label 1, 2, 3, 4 around it until you get back to the beginning. So there's 12 sides, so I know n equals 12 for this one. So I'm just going to take 12 and just plug it into the formula. So 180 times n minus 2, and n is 12 now, so it's just 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2, so I do the parentheses first, so this part goes first, so 12 minus 2 is 10, so 180 times 10 is just going to equal 1800, and it's degrees. So that's my answer for number 1. So 2, 3, and 4 are the same exact process. 3 and 4, you don't have to count the sides because it just tells you how many sides already. So for number 3, you just put 19 where the n is. So it's even easier. Okay, the next section is one exterior angle. So I put the formula for that. It's just 360 divided by n. And n is the number of sides. So remember, the exterior angles always add up to 360 total. So the exterior angle sum, no matter how many sides it has, is always 360. So to find each angle, you divide it by n. So again, we're going to count how many sides there are again. So for number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So again, it's 12. So I have n equals 12 again. So for this one, I'm just going to put the n, put 12 where the n is. So it's just 360 divided by 12, which equals 30 degrees. So that's it for 5 through 10. Number 6, again, count it, and then the rest of 7, 8, 9, 10 basically just tell you how many sides. So, and then the last section on this page is one interior angle. Okay, so the difference now between these ones and the first section we did up here is this first section was asking for the whole sum, so we didn't have to divide by n at the end. This section now is asking for one interior angle. So that's kind of how you know when you're doing this on the quiz or whatever, that's what you have to pay attention for, is it asking for the sum or for one interior angle. So in this case, one interior angle. So we find the sum first and then divide it by n. So we need to know what n is first. So for number 11, there's 4 sides. All right, so n equals 4 for this one. So I'm just going to plug the 4 in for both of these n's. So it's going to be 180 times 4 minus 2, and then divide that whole thing by 4. Okay, so order of operations, we do the parentheses first, right? 4 minus 2 is 2. So then we're going to get 180 times 2 over 4. All right, 180 times 2 is 360. 360 divided by 4 is going to equal 90 degrees for number 11. Okay, so that's how you do that section. So that takes care of the practice. On the next page, we have the application and extension. And 1 and 2 are just like ones that we did in the practice. So you're going to have to pay attention to what it's asking for, and you can go back to the practice to remind yourself how to do it, to refresh yourself. So I'm going to jump to number 3. These are the ones that are kind of like puzzles a little bit. So if you look at number 3, you can see that mostly we have exterior angles, and X is also an exterior angle. So I'm going to be using exterior angles to solve this. For B, where this angle here near the B, we have the interior angle, but what you notice is that this is actually a linear pair here. So they have to add up to 180. And if this angle here is 90, that means that the exterior angle also has to be 90. So that's a big piece of that puzzle there. So from here, what we know is that all of these angles, all of these exterior angles, so this angle here, this angle plus 65, so the 90 in the beginning plus 65 plus 79 plus 48 plus X equals 360. And that's how you're going to solve it for 3. That's how you solve for X. For number 4, now we're talking about interior angles. We're looking at interior angles. They're all inside of the polygon. So we have to use the interior angle formulas for that one. And what we need to do first is look at how many sides there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So let's first look at what's going to be the sum of the interior angles. And the formula is 180 times 5 minus 2, because n is 5. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 180 times 3 is going to give you 540. So I know that all of these angles inside of here have to add up to 540. All right. What I also know is that angle A and angle H are the same. So this is also going to be an X here. So what I need to do to solve this is take the 540 and subtract out the rest of these angles here. So 540 minus 90 minus 90 minus 108. Okay, so when you subtract those, you're going to get 252. And that 252 is what's left between these two angles. So, and since they're both the same, it has to get divided by 2 to get your answer for X. All right, number 5, couple hints. You're going to be using interior angles. I know that because X is interior and most of the other angles are interior. What I need to do is first look at how many sides there are to find the sum. Okay, and then I can use relationships here to get the rest of the angles. So this is 67, and this is a linear pair with the 67. So to get this angle here, I have to do 180 minus 67. And then over here at G, these are vertical, which means they're congruent. So G is also 145. So then once I have that, I subtract all of those angles from the sum. Okay, number 6, I'm gonna leave for you guys to do as well. It's a fun little puzzle. First thing you should do though is just take all the information here. Measure of angle A is 45, and just label it all. Just label it right on the drawing. Everything you have, label it. And then from there, you'll be able to see, you can use different relationships such as linear pairs and vertical angles and triangle sum, right? The three angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. So you're going to have to use all that stuff to solve for these angles. For number 7, you're going to have to use, exterior angle. For 8 and 9, those are both interior. Number 8 is a regular polygon, which means all the angles are the same. So what you do is you count how many sides there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we just plug 6 in to our formula to get the angles. Okay, and it's going to be the each, not the sum for this one. Number 9 is very, very similar to what we did up here for number 4. So you can pretty much follow the same process we did for number 4, for number 9. Number 10, a couple quick hints. In this first triangle over here, we have 2 of the angles already. So that means I can get the third angle by subtracting the other 2 from 180. And then these are vertical. And then once I have that angle, now I have 3 angles in a 4-sided polygon. So then I'll be able to find the fourth angle. All right, and then the last page, I'm going to leave for you guys to kind of try out and play around with the top part. And then the last part is just the review. So you guys should be able to get that done. And that's it. 5.1 practice and application.